Ask yourself a simple question. And that question is, why do you want to get up earlier? Is it because in the morning, that's the only time where you can dedicate an hour and an hour and a half to getting a full focused workout in? Is it because waking up an extra hour early will give you time, the only time in the entire day where you can go and work on your side hustle? Is it because waking up early in the morning before everybody else gives you this feeling of productivity and accomplishment and 10x's your performance the rest of your day? Or is it because waking up in the morning, doing something difficult, is proving to yourself and proving to other people in your life that you are about it this year and you are not screwing around anymore and you need to prove this to yourself? Ask yourself, which one is it? And is that desire, that end goal, pushing you to get up? Or are you still hitting snooze? Are you still sleeping until 10 a.m. and allowing the rest of the world to get a 5-hour head start? Are you still late at night, once you get into that bed, scrolling on TikTok just for 10 minutes? And then that 10 minutes turns into 15 minutes. And that 15 minutes turns into 25. And before you know it, it's been an hour. But now your brain is all messed up and you can't even go to bed. And so when your alarm goes off, you hit snooze. What is it? Ask how many days do you think you have wasted from doing stuff like that? I can tell you personally, I have wasted way too many days. And it makes me sick to think about. I wrote down this year, sticky notes, laminated pages, every single place. I am done wasting days. I need to prove to myself that I'm about it. I am done screwing around. And it all starts with getting up in the morning. I promise you. It's such a difficult task. It seems so simple, but it's something that separates people from, I'm about it and I'm not about it. And guess what? It's Tuesday, January 14th. There's been 14 days in January. For 11 out of those 14 days, I've gotten up between 5:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. 11 out of 14 days. And guess what? Majority of those days were on winter break. I'm telling you, I'm putting systems in my life to get me out of bed because I am about it this year. And so here are 5 things that I do that help me get up earlier. But listen, you can do the first 4 every single day. It does not matter. This will never be sustainable if you don't understand and implement number 5. So with that being said, number 1, the first thing I do that helps me get up earlier, it's one simple word, and that word is perspective. Let me read you the definition of perspective. A particular attitude towards something. A particular attitude towards something. I wanna share a story. So the other day, this was Sunday, the day before classes start in the second semester, I set an alarm for 6 a.m. because I had a lot of stuff that I needed to get done. And I knew that this was going to take me all day. My alarm goes off and I kind of get up and I'm like, holy cow, I don't want to get out of bed right now. Now my mind starts going, Anthony, it's Sunday. Anthony, you have all day to do whatever you want. Anthony, you've been working so hard this winter break. Just sleep in a couple extra minutes. And then boom, I realized, what is going on right now? I shifted my perspective. I shifted my perspective from feeling sorry for myself for saying, I've been working so hard, I can take it easy, to this right here. And what this is, man, I'm grateful that I can get up this early. Man, it is freaking awesome that nobody else my age right now is doing this. Nobody else in my apartment is doing this. Nobody else across the country is getting up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday when they don't have to because they want to get ahead at life. Nobody's doing that. And do you know what that shift in perspective gave me? A ton of motivation. It's something that makes your skin tingle and gets you right out of bed, hopped into a cold shower, and crushed the rest of the day. Shift your perspective. And the great thing about perspective is it's all in your control. And it stems from one thing. And that is the thoughts in your head. You hear me repeat this all the time. The thoughts in your head are so important. If you don't change the thoughts in your head and they stem negative, they will destroy you. And it's self-destruction. But if you can switch them to positive, be grateful, have a good outlook on what you're doing, it will change your actions just like that. Number 2, the second method I use to be able to get up early is force. Force myself to do it. And this is what I mean. Imagine a scenario. Let's just say that this person is 21, they're in college, and this person's a guy. He has a girlfriend. He finds out that his girlfriend is pregnant and there's a kid on the way. He doesn't have a supportive family that's going to be able to financially support this kid. She doesn't have a family that's going to be able to financially support this kid. All that happens is tunnel vision. This kid now has one priority, one single priority, and that's to make money to be able to feed and nurture this kid in the next 9 months. Every single other worry goes out the window, and he's forced to do it. And guess what? Odds are, when you're forced to do something, you're going to freaking do it. When I was a sophomore and I was playing college baseball, freshman, sophomore, I have team lift 5:30 in the morning. I have to get up. I don't have any other option. I have to sustain that for weeks on end. It doesn't matter if I'm tired. I did it. When I'm at the end of my sophomore year and I have one big goal, and that's to switch into the Olin Business School, and I have to get a certain GPA for that, and it's the end of the semester, I'm traveling every single weekend for baseball. I can't afford to sleep in because I don't have time to study the rest of the day. I'm not going to get my goal. I am forced to get up at 5:30 in the morning and study in the hotel lobby when the rest of my team sleeps, so I can study for 2 hours before breakfast starts. You're forced to do it. Once you're forced to do something, it's a whole nother layer of motivation. I wouldn't even call it motivation. It's just you have no other option and you are going to get it done. And so you may be sitting here saying, okay, Anthony, but force. How can I force myself? I'm not a college athlete. I don't have a kid on the way. That's fine. Sign up for a 6 a.m. workout class. Sign up for something in the morning. Schedule a lunch at a certain time, and you have to get stuff done. Fill your schedule with some extracurriculars. If you have, put things in place that will allow you, it will force you to get up earlier. Otherwise, there will be major consequences because you will not be able to finish what you need to do in a day. Number 3, what I do. And I stole this term from David Goggins. It is such a good term, but I don't know if you guys have read his book, Can't Hurt Me. If you haven't, you got to read it. But one of the terms in that book he uses is something called a cookie jar. And let me read you the definition of a cookie jar. A metaphorical mental storage space where you store your past accomplishments, resilience, and positive experiences. So for my cookie jar, some things that are in there: running a half marathon, doing boxing classes, which is some of the hardest workouts I ever done in my entire life, getting into WashU, top 15 school in the country, playing college baseball, being able to switch into the Olin Business School, consistently posting on TikTok for 8 months with zero traction when all I wanted to do was quit, but sticking through it and now growing to a personal brand to 24,000 followers. Starting a podcast when I couldn't even raise my hand in high school because I was so nervous. And now I'm on the internet speaking my mind on a bunch of different topics. All those things go into my cookie jar. And the great thing about it is whenever I'm doing something that seems tough and difficult, and I'm just like, God, I don't think I can do this right now. I don't want to do this. I go into that and remember all those struggles and times that I had and how miserable it felt in the moment when you're on mile 7 of 13 and a half marathon and all you want to do is throw up and quit, but you stuck through it. I remember those times, and I remember, you know what, maybe it's not so bad what's going on right now. You know what, I got through mile 7 through 13. Maybe I can get up at 6:30 in the morning. You know what, sophomore year, I got up for 2 weeks at a time, 5:30 every single day, and I was able to function fantastic, and I got so much done. You know what, I can get up at 5:30 a.m. today. Put together your cookie jar and go into it at times when you're struggling so much, when that alarm goes off in the morning and you don't think you can get up, because I swear to God, I promise you, you can. Number 4, this is the easiest one, and this is all on you. And you'd be surprised at how much you're affected by this. It's your phone. Let me tell you some of my non-negotiables with my phone. I never, ever scroll on my phone while I am in bed. When I get in my bed, I'm either sleeping, I'm going to read a book, or I will watch YouTube. And you'll say, oh, YouTube's the same thing. For me, long form content, it doesn't screw my mind like a TikTok or Instagram. But the moment you start scrolling, it just rewires your brain and keeps you up longer, at least for me personally. I try to stay off all socials 30 minutes before bed. And when I say socials, I'm talking the short form: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. All that stuff just screws my sleep up. And then I stay up way longer than I have to. Also, this is such a big thing. And I think a lot of people do this. I think a lot of people, their first thing they do once getting up in the morning is checking their phone. I never do that. My first action will never be going on TikTok. It will never be going on Instagram. It won't even be checking notifications. I put my phone on do not disturb. Because if you wake up and your first task of the day, your first action is getting instant dopamine, do you know what that does to your mind? It completely rewires it. And then you seek all these little easy, quick fixes the rest of the morning, the rest of the day, and you never want to do anything difficult. You never want to do anything hard that gives you good dopamine. Your workouts are going to be way less productive. You're going to cut it short. You're going to say, I'm not going to go as hard today. You're going to not be able to focus in class, and you're going to still be able to check your phone. You're going to do this. You're going to eat whatever. Like, that will happen if the first task of your day is scrolling on social media. Cut that out. Once I cut that out, holy cow, so much more focused, so much more productive in the morning. And I told you number 5, everything is rooted in number 5. And all 1 through 4 are great, and there's systems you can put in your life, and they'll change the way you think and your perspective, but it will never be sustainable if you don't have a number 5. And what number 5 is, it's a purpose. That's all it is. You need to have a purpose. I am able to get up every single morning early, even when I don't want to, because I am so freaking fired up about the future. I am running off enthusiasm. Tiredness does not matter, because enthusiasm and optimism about what could come if I get up early and do what I have to do today is so strong that not even the thought of tiredness is not a thought. It just slips out. And once you find your purpose and something you really think you're called to do, it will give you that same mindset every single day. And you will be excited. You won't want to sleep. You'll be excited to get up in the morning. I promise you this. And if you find your purpose and it's a true calling and you don't get up when you're supposed to, you will feel guilty, and that guilt will tear you apart. It will tear you apart and give you so much anxiety and shame that it'll force you to get up in the morning. And the thing about finding a purpose is everybody struggles with this, especially at a young age. I just don't know what to do. And I trust me, I've been there. I've heard this so many times in my life. I'm like, man, I have no idea what to do. How could I make a decision, my purpose for the rest of my life? I'm 21 years old. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea what things are going to happen, who I'm going to meet. But I think what I've learned is a purpose doesn't have to be something that is set in stone for the rest of your life. Maybe you have something that you know that is set in stone, and that's your purpose. That's great. I don't think many people have that. A purpose could be a simple thing. Like, imagine if you're a parent. Your purpose is to raise your kid as good as possible. So guess what? When that alarm goes off at 5 a.m., you're going to get up because you know your kids are getting up at 7 a.m. and you need time to yourself to go work out, to do whatever. And so you're getting up because that's your purpose. It could be a simple thing like that. It could be simple to trying to play a college sport, getting a certain grade on a test. That is a purpose. That is a very short-term purpose. I dealt with that purpose my sophomore year to transfer into the business school. I had to get a certain grade on one exam. And that was a purpose that fueled me. Identify a purpose. It could be short-term or long-term, and that will get you up, and that will give you everything you need to succeed at this. And so moral of the story is you're still sitting here and say, okay, all these things are great, but yeah, I'm just not convinced. I don't know if I really need to be getting up early. At the core, getting up early is something that not a lot of other kids do. Not a lot of other kids are getting up consistently at 5:30, 6 a.m. So number one, it puts you in a differentiator bucket. You're a little bit unique. Number two, it is just a difficult thing. This year in 2025, I am all about doing difficult things, whether that's squatting in the gym, whether that's taking a boxing class that's literally an hour of mental warfare, psychological warfare, whether it's getting up, even when I'm tired, getting up early in the morning is all about doing difficult things because that expands your cookie jar. It expands your area of possibility within your mind, and it will set you up on a beautiful path following your North Star. So if you got any value from this podcast, please share this with someone else who's struggling to get up early. Share this with family, friends. Please rate our show. Please go follow us on social medias. We appreciate all of your support. And again, Godspeed. Believe foolishly. And thank you for listening.